The day that it was announced that Joe Biden had pardoned his son, Hunter Biden, I had a lot to say. I did a video about it. This was December 2nd, I believe. And one of the things I said, among all the things that I said, one of the things that I said was that Joe Biden needs to lead after this pardon of his son with an immeasurable amount of pardons, preemptive and otherwise, for separate groups, different groups. I'm going to play just a minute and a half or so of that so I don't have to repeat myself because one, my voice is going, two, it's Friday, and also it goes a little bit to toot my own horn because now we're learning that is exactly what is on the table. Here we are just a few days removed from that. But here is just a brief snippet from that video. You'll know that it's from the past because it's old-timey and black and white. In the wake of this, this is what Joe Biden should absolutely do. Joe Biden should preemptively pardon for the good of the country, for the good of people doing work in their respective medical fields. Joe Biden should preemptively pardon abortion pill providers who could be charged under violating the Comstock Act, which up to this point hasn't been used as a mechanism for restricting abortion access or access to the abortion pill. He should preemptively pardon abortion providers who may fall afoul of the law in their particular draconian states. Now, there's some contention between state pardons that the president can't make for state crimes, but for federal crimes, he can absolutely do this. All marijuana convictions, absolutely at the federal level, should be pardoned preemptively, or not even, that's not a preemptive pardon. Pardon them. Go out with the bang, Joe. Don't just protect your involved in criminality son who's traded on your name. The rich, privileged boy who is now extricated from trouble because his dad is the rich, privilege-offering human being. Pardon every single member of the January 6th House Select Committee investigating the attempt to overthrow the United States government by Donald Trump and his violent white nationalist minions. Every single one. For that matter, pardon everybody on Donald Trump's hit list, his enemy list, his deep state list, every one of them. Preemptive pardon. And if you think that's not a thing, he can't do that, that's not real, it's real. Two things. Maybe somebody in the White House watches the show. Doubtful. Very doubtful. Two, the other thing is, I fixed my microphone. Dozens and dozens and dozens of you rightfully complained that my microphone was too hot. I fixed it. I figured it out. I'm not a tech guy. I'm a dumb shit, but I figured it out. So, as you can tell, the audio is different. I must sound much, much better, right? And then let's talk about this article from Politico, this reporting that absolutely Joe Biden is considering doing this very thing, preemptive pardons, especially for members on Donald Trump's angry I hate people list. Here's the headline from Politico. Biden White House is discussing preemptive pardons for those in Trump's crosshairs. The nomination of Kash Patel, who has vowed to pursue Trump's critics as FBI director, has heightened concerns within the president's inner circle. So this is also a little bit of a message to those constitutional experts and presidential pardon experts in the audience, in the comments, and in my voicemail and email that said, that's not a real thing. Obviously, it's a real thing. President Joe Biden's senior aides are conducting a vigorous internal debate over whether to issue preemptive pardons to a range of current and former public officials who could be targeted with President-elect Donald Trump's return to the White House, according to senior Democrats familiar with the discussions. Biden's aides are deeply concerned about a range of current and former officials who could find themselves facing inquiries and even indictments, a sense of alarm which has only accelerated since Trump last weekend announced the appointment of Kash Patel to lead the FBI. Patel has publicly vowed to pursue Trump's critics. The White House officials, however, are carefully weighing the extraordinary step of handing out blanket pardons to those who've committed no crimes, both because it could suggest impropriety, only fueling Trump's criticisms, and because those offered preemptive pardons may reject them. Well, leave that to them to reject a preemptive pardon. And two, who gives a single fuck about what Donald Trump is going to criticize or complain about? They're going to do that if they don't issue the pardons. Just issue the pardons. Those who could face exposure include such members of Congress's January 6th committee as Senator-elect Adam Schiff of California and former GOP Representative Liz Cheney of Wyoming. Trump has previously said Cheney should go to jail along with the rest of the unselect committee, quote unquote. Also mentioned by Biden's aides for pardon is Anthony Fauci, the former head of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, who became a lightning rod for criticism from the right during the COVID-19 pandemic. The West Wing deliberations have been organized by White House counsel Ed Siskel, but include a range of other aides, including Chief of Staff Jeff Zients. The president himself, who was intensely focused on his son's pardon, has not been brought into the broader pardon discussions yet, according to people familiar with the deliberations. Well, get on it. You got a job. You're president of the United States. Let's keep your eye on the ball for the next month, Joe. The conversations were spurred by Trump's repeated threats and quiet lobbying by congressional Democrats, though not by those seeking pardons themselves. Quote, the beneficiaries know nothing, one well-connected Democrat told me, about those who could receive pardons. Biden's ultimate decision, though, could prove just as consequential to some of the country's most high-profile public officials as his choice to pardon his son. A White House spokesperson declined to comment on, but did not deny, the discussions. This absolutely needs to take place. Anthony Fauci wasn't even on my radar, and that's absolutely a banger choice for a pardon. Not that crimes were committed. This is protection. This is insulation from prosecution for things that are not crimes. Protecting the lives of hundreds of millions of Americans is absolutely not a crime. He should receive the Nobel Prize, not an indictment, you dipshits. But we live in a different world. We need to deal with reality on reality's terms. We need to not treat Republicans like they're reasonable. Well, we can't do it because Republicans will criticize. Who gives a single shit about that? Who cares about what Republicans will or won't say about protecting people who were patriots, who did their duty in the face of threats, in the face of violence, in the face of a violent insurrection and an attempted overthrow of the United States government? Pardon them, Joe. Pardon them, Mr. President. There's certainly pardons to go around if there was a pardon for Hunter. What do you think? Out there? Tell me where I'm wrong and save your criticism for me criticizing the President of the United States. He's the president. That's his job. He's done a great job. He needs to finish the great job that he started by protecting patriots. Comment below. The voicemail line is open, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me, daily@dollemore.com. I want to hear from you. Please support this work if you are an ally of mine, if you appreciate my work, if I bring you value. Click that join button below and support independent media. For $2 a month, you can become a channel member right here. You can also go over to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. That's a great way to help support. You can buy some merch at dollemore.info. I encourage that. Every purchase goes a long way to supporting what we do right here. Follow me on social media. I'm at Dollemore. I'd love to see you. And I will see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another. Hey, I'm very excited. Many of you will recognize the phone, what I have dubbed the bat phone to Jesus, that I make fun of these charlatans and these grifters. And I got a lot of suggestions to make merch out of it. I'd make a t-shirt or a mug or some kind of a sticker design, and that is what we did. You can see here, it is a callback to the bit on the show. And if you want to help support the show and then get something tangible in return that you can hold in your hand or stick on your laptop or put on a mug, we have it on mugs and everything else, go to dollemore.info and you can support the show in this way. I appreciate it in advance. And also you can just go check out the website that we're retooling all of the merch and all of there's ways to get to Brittany Page's channel and our podcasts and all kinds of other stuff. So anyway, dollemore.info will redirect you to that.